As a student, you spent lots of hours crafting a perfect paper filled with brilliant ideas and insightful analysis. But here's the harsh reality. Without proper referencing, this effort is like building a beautiful castle on quicksand. In this video, I am going to show you how you can use every citation as a brick to solidify the foundation of your research paper. Also, at the end of the video, I will give you a tool that will help you do this. So make sure that you stay till the end of this video. My name is Lerato Kanomsa, founder of All Things Academia, where we explore and explain all things in academia. This video is part 1 of the part 3 series on Harvard referencing, where we're going to go into the ins and outs of Harvard referencing, citation in particular. So grab your pen and your notebook and let's get started. Harvard referencing is a widely used referencing style that helps us acknowledge and give credit to the authors whose work we have used in our writing. It's important because it helps us maintain academic integrity and avoid plagiarism, which is a serious offense in academia. By using Harvard referencing, you can enhance the credibility of your work and show your readers that you have conducted a thorough research. Harvard referencing has 2 main parts: in-text citations and reference list. In-text citations are like the signpost within your writing that points to the full details of the source. Imagine it as a treasure map that points to the book, article, or the website that you have used. The reference list is the ultimate credit page at the end of your work. Sometimes it's referred to as a bibliography. This provides the full details about each source that you have used. Think of it as giving a shout out to all the authors whose work you have used. Your readers can then use this list to track down and explore the sources themselves. In this part 1 video, we're going to focus on in-text citation. In academia, as you write your paper adding words, statements, and ideas that you read or heard somewhere else, you must add little name tags to that information to make it clear that you have borrowed it. This name tag should tell the reader who is the person whose idea or words you are using, when these words was said or the idea shared, where in the source was it said or shared. This is known as the author-date system. These 3 elements can all be put in one name tag, or just 2 of the 3 elements can be used, depending on the form of citation, since in-text citation has 2 main forms: direct quotes and paraphrasing. Let's talk about direct quotations first. Imagine you pick up a source, whether it's a book, a journal, or you're scrolling through a website, and you come across a line or a sentence or even a short paragraph that perfectly captures word for word the idea you want to add to your paper to strengthen your argument. All you have to do is take that line, sentence, or paragraph, write it in your paper, and put it inside quotation marks to show that these words belong to someone else. And then you add a name tag with the author's last name and the year of publication and the source locator. For example, education is the most powerful weapon which can be used to change the world. Mandela, 1994, page 2. Now, let's move on to paraphrasing. This is in an instance where you are reading a book or a journal article, or you're just scrolling through a website and you come across a line or a sentence or even a short paragraph that captures the idea that you want to use in your paper. However, you want to express the same idea using your own words because you want to communicate it in your own writing style, or you want to weave it into the context of your paper. So what you do in this case is write the idea using your own words. Even though you're using your own words, you still have to acknowledge the person whose idea you are using by adding a name tag with the author's last name, date of publication, and in this case, you don't have to add the source locator because there is no way in the source where we can find the line that you use word for word. Here is an example. Just as Nelson Mandela, 1994, emphasized that education has the ability to create significant changes in the world. Sometimes you come across sources written by not just one, but multiple authors. And once in a while, you might need to cite multiple sources at once. And in other instances, you come across a quote that flows into the next page. This is why right now we are going to discuss citing multiple authors, multiple page numbers, and multiple sources. If a source has 2 authors, then you will have to include both of the author's surname in the same order as they appear on the source. For example, Johnson and Anderson 2020. For sources with 3 or more authors, you can use et al., which means in others, after the first author's name. For example, Williams et al. 2018. Now, we have discussed previously that when you are quoting directly from a source, you must include the page number as well as a source locator. You place the page number after the year of publication separated by a comma, and you use P, which stands for page, before writing the page number. For example, Miller 2021 P45. So in the case where your quote flows to the next page, meaning it continues to the next page, you should write both pages as a source locator. This is by following the same format, placing the page number after the year of publication, separated by a comma, and using P. But this time you don't use P, you use PP, which stands for pages, plural. For example, Johnson and Smith 2017 PP 23 to 24. Now, let's move on to instances where you want to cite multiple sources within the same parentheses. For all my people, those who are like me, brackets. Brackets. This happens when the argument you are making is supported by many scholars and you want that to show in your paper. This is mostly used in literature review and is accompanied by statements like many scholars agree, most of the scholars hold. So in this case, you put all the scholars that hold that idea in the same parentheses and you separate them with semicolons and you arrange them alphabetically. There are some institutions that prefer that you arrange them chronologically. Again, for my people like me, this means by date, year of publication from earliest to latest. For example, Brown's 2018, Jones and Smith 2020. This example is both in alphabetical and chronological order. And that's how you handle multiples in Harvard in-text citation. Not so bad, right? Remember, practice makes perfect. And you can always go back and rewatch this video, slowing it down and pausing and trying all these citation forms using your own sources. Or you could just download the Harvard referencing guide linked in the description down below, which covers everything that we've discussed in this video, so check it out. Now that you know how to handle multiples, let's move on to unusual circumstances. In academia, there may be situations where you encounter sources that has no date, no page numbers, or no authors, or other unusual circumstances. Calm down, do not panic. Here we're going to go through how you can handle such cases in your in-text citation. If your source you're using does not have a publication date, then simply put ND in the place of the year. ND stands for no date. Here is an example, Smith ND. Okay, maybe you want to put a direct quote, but the source you are using does not have a page number. What then? Well, if the source you are citing does not have a page number, such as a website or an online document, then you can use para for paragraph number as a source locator. This is how you do it. Johnson 2019 para 4. According to the quote by Brown 2017 para 15. Easy, right? But there are few instances where you have both the date and the page number, but no author's name. What to do in that case? Well, this one is tricky because some institutions prefer that you use anonymous in the place of the author's name, while some prefer that you use the title of the work or the organization responsible for the content. So you will have to check with your institution's writing guide to be sure. Here is an example when using the title. Title of the article, 2020. And here is the example when you are using organization. World Health Organization, 2018. Now we have covered how to cite in instances of common, unusual circumstances. But at the same time, there will be those that we are not prepared for, like where the sources does not fit into the typical citation format. For example, if you citing a person you had an interview with or a lecture that you have attended, well, in this case, you need to give as much information as possible, as concise as possible, and as clear as possible. Example of an interview will be J. Anderson, Personal Communication, May 5, 2022. And here is one for a lecture. Lecture by Professor Smith, March 10, 2021. Now that you know how to cite your sources in your text, the next step is to create a reference list where you list all the sources that you have cited in your paper, providing more details about each source. The next video, which is part 2 of this series, will focus on creating a reference list the easy and quick way. So be sure to hit the subscribe button so that you know immediately when this video is uploaded. And because I know that taking notes is not everyone's cup of tea, so I took it upon myself to create a Harvard referencing guide that covers everything discussed in this video. Yes, lovelies, this is how much I love y'all and I want y'all to succeed in your academic journey. The link to download this free guide will be linked in the description down below, so click away and download. Don't forget to subscribe, like, and comment either about how helpful or not this video was, or about what other topics would you like to be covered in the future. Also, feel free to ask if you have any questions and I will do my best to answer as soon as possible. Click on the video that will appear on your screen at the end of this video because that is the video that you should be watching next. I now take this time to project to you love and grace in a way of 1 Corinthians 13 verse 14.